Hi there, I'm Seb Maley from Qdos, and in this video we'll take a quick look at the election manifestos of the major political parties and how they could impact contractors and freelancers. With the 4th of July fast approaching, we are now at the business end of the party's preparations for polling day, with plenty of televised debates and now the formal pledges and manifestos. We've spoken a lot about the fact that the UK's flexible workforce has felt pretty disenfranchised by both the current government but also those that have come before it. The collective voices of discontent have become increasingly loud over recent years and you would imagine are now impossible for politicians to ignore. So how have the political parties looked to appeal to flexible workers in their manifestos? Well, the first out of the blocks were the Liberal Democrats, and from the perspective of contractors and the self-employed, it was a pretty strong start. For limited company contractors, IR35 has been arguably the biggest tax-related bugbear over recent years, and they will have been buoyed to see that it got a specific mention in the Lib-Dem manifesto. The party have pledged to review the reforms to IR35 and to, I quote, ensure the self-employed people are treated fairly. So whilst they have called out the legislation, it only goes as far as a review, and obviously we have been there many times before. But it is a positive that they seem to recognise that IR35 has really hampered contractors and potentially limited economic growth and flexibility. In the same paragraph, they also referenced the loan charge, which has severely impacted a subsection of contractors, and state that they will end retrospective tax changes. The Lib Dems also made pledges relating to the wider self-employed market, with the promise of the establishment of a new dependent contractor status, which sits between employment and self-employment. They've pledged to review the tax and national insurance status, whatever that means, of employees and the self-employed, and also spoke about giving the self-employed day one parental rights. So all in all, some positive noises, but nothing particularly concrete, and obviously not a huge amount of detail behind the rhetoric. Next, we had the Conservative manifesto. Given that this is the party who introduced the reformed IR35 rules, it seemed rather unlikely that they will get a mention, and sure enough, the manifesto was completely silent both on that and any other issue impacting limited company contractors. The only pledge of any real note to flexible workers in general is that the Tories will abolish Class 4 national insurance for the self-employed. It would obviously serve as a nice tax cut for freelancers, but other than that, the manifesto held few pleasant surprises. The following day marked the release of Labour's manifesto, which was the main one we'd been waiting for, and freelancers were quick to analyse the content to see what Keir Starmer had in store. What they found was perhaps a little disappointing. Like the Conservatives, there was no mention whatsoever of IR35 and, in fact, very little relevant to the self-employed in general. Ahead of the manifesto being released, Labour had made some noise around their New Deal for working people, which includes the introduction of a single worker status for everyone but the genuinely self-employed. That was met with some concern from those who consider themselves genuinely self-employed, and it was hoped that the manifesto would shed more light on the party's plans. Unfortunately, the document is light on detail though, and it may be that we don't get any more information before polling day. It would be remiss of us not to touch on the Reform UK party, who seem to be picking up an increasing amount of support and who have made some pretty bullish pledges designed to win votes. One of these pledges includes a promise to abolish the IR35 rules, which naturally will have caught the attention of the thousands of contractors who have been impacted by them. What that abolishment means in practice, we don't know, but they have certainly gone further than any of the other parties when it comes to the off-payroll rules. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks and whether any of the parties will do any more to win over flexible workers before the 4th of July. We'll keep you informed of any developments, so please subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.